Elon Musk's massive Starship 2.0 shocks scientists. Technology is a vision made tangible. Elon Musk is one of the most visionary tech geniuses the world has ever known. One of his seemingly impossible visions is making Mars habitable for man. And while we may call it cuckoo, the man is already making giant strides towards animating that vision. On May 23, 2022, Elon Musk divulged his plans that SpaceX would be working on Starship 2.0 soon, causing tremors in the space industry, Musk's fans, and critics alike. As some might now know, SpaceX is currently in the process of building the first Starship. Yet Musk has bravely claimed that there are plans for Starship 2.0. How massive is SpaceX? Now, SpaceX is arguably the biggest space company in the world. This company has recorded monumental successes and has won a good number of awards for them. It boasts perhaps one of the most used rockets in the world, Falcon 9, and the most powerful rocket in the world, Falcon Heavy. The company also frequently collaborates with the United States military as well as NASA, showing how well regarded the company is around the world. Elon Musk went as far as going to Russia to purchase a ballistic missile on behalf of SpaceX, a story some find unbelievable. What to expect from Starship? Many people will be wondering what the purpose of the giant rockets that SpaceX is seemingly always working on is. Elon Musk has said as far back as 2002 that he aimed to put man on Mars, and took his ambition one step further, claiming to send 1 million people to Mars within the next 30 years. This can only be accomplished through the use of the Starship, a feat technology which is in huge demand throughout the world, with NASA looking to send astronauts to the moon and the military wanting its usage to send cargo across the globe in the blink of an eye. Musk also believes that his creations would enable people to move to Mars for a relatively cheap price. The amazing structure of Starship. The Starship on its own stands a whopping 394 feet in height and has a glittering appearance as it is made of stainless steel. Many people don't know that Musk is the lead of the Starship, and the project is extremely close to his heart, and he finds it sometimes hard to convince people that he is at the top of engineering. Musk's dedication has meant that the Starship has progressed swimmingly and as a result is very superior in every way to the very rockets used by NASA to put a man on the moon, Saturn V, both in size and, more importantly, power. It has been built much larger than any other spacecraft due to the expectation that it will carry massive amounts of cargo across outer space as Musk tries to achieve his dream. The space station is built with futuristic arms dubbed chopsticks, which catch the booster rocket which detaches from the Starship in outer space, ensuring that the Starship can be reused once it has been used, which is a huge breakthrough in terms of scaling the costs related to the project. This can only mean good things for Starship 2.0. Starship 2.0 design is massive. Starship 2.0 is rumored to be 8 times larger than its predecessor. The original rocket is by far the most powerful in humanity's history, and if SpaceX's track record is anything to go by, the power of Starship 2.0 will be astronomical. This is not a false claim, as Starship models have been confirmed to have 50 more Raptor engines. Musk has also claimed that Starship 2.0 will double the original Starship in both height and diameter, with rumors going around that the successor will be almost 800 feet high and 60 feet in diameter. This drastic increase would mean that 2.0 will have 4 times the volume and area of the original. Starship's out-of-this-world tech. According to initial reports and estimations, Starship 2.0 will carry 1,000 tons of payload on every launch, and suggestions are that it would require almost 10 times of thrust to launch the spacecraft, roughly up to 170 million pounds, even though the Starship Raptor engine is superior to the Merlin engine, which Musk talks about in depth. The Merlin engine is brilliant, and we know that the Raptor engine is fantastic too, but Starship 2.0 will require far too many engines to launch, even if it used the superior Raptor engines, which is not plausible. However, The new improvements on the Raptor engines mean that they are confirmed to be more compact and said to pack an even bigger punch, producing up to 25 times more thrust on launch. This also means that Starship 2.0 can become starborne with less than 60 engines. The improvement is nothing short of mind-blowing, but this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone who knows Elon Musk. Musk's philosophy has been to break the limits of whatever technology is capable of. Starship 2.0 completed in no time. With the demand so high, SpaceX could not sit idle and continue working at the pace it had been. So they adopted a new regime for building rockets, which has exponentially increased the efficiency of operations. Instead of trialing every single component separately, the company completes prototypes of the entire rocket and tests it as a whole prototype, which has proven to be the most successful and time-saving strategy. While there have been some colossal failures, the strategy would mean that Musk can realize his dream much quicker, even going as far as saying that he has a 70% chance of setting foot on Mars. As a whole, the strategy makes sense because SpaceX can quickly make adjustments which allow it to keep its throne at the top of the industry, and with this tactic, there is every chance that SpaceX will be able to unveil its crown project in time. The cost of a launch. Contrary to popular belief, this mammoth project, if carried out as planned, will cost chump change as compared to older space projects, which can primarily be attributed to the fact that the Starship is designed to be a fully reusable rocket, which cuts down costs dramatically. A space shuttle launch costs approximately $1.5 billion, while a Starship launch currently is at $2 billion. While the launch costs only $2 million, Musk himself admits that the current cost of actually reaching Mars is irrational and could amount to billions of dollars. $2 billion is an absurd amount of money, but when weighed against the difficulty and the ambitiousness of the mission it is designed to carry out, as well as comparing it to the cost of other space projects, $2 million is virtually nothing. Since Starship 2.0 will be significantly larger than the original, it is safe to say that the cost of a launch will also see an increase. Musk has been previously recorded to say that he guarantees it will be less than $10 million. Starship's lifting capacity. The original Starship dimensions would allow it to lift approximately 250 metric tons per launch, but the massively upgraded Starship 2.0 would mean that it could carry 3 times the mass it would have been able to carry originally, which is mind-blowing to process. To many people, it doesn't seem plausible and does seem far-fetched, but people have doubted Musk before, and he usually does what he originally says, like the time people thought he wouldn't offer $44 billion for Twitter, and he did, which shows his utmost dedication. How Starship will help colonize Mars. The original Starship with its size would only be able to take 100 people to Mars per launch, and if Musk is to fulfill his dream of sending a colony of 1 million people up there in less than 28 years, that would prove to be just too slow, and it would take approximately 10,000 launches to complete. With the envisioned Starship 2.0, he aims to send 10 times the people per trip, ranging up to 1,000 per launch, which would drastically lower the number of trips required, as the new and improved Starship 2.0 would be able to carry out 8 trips to Mars for every 1 trip the Starship currently can. Meaning that if this monster can be brought to life, it is a very real and serious possibility that Musk will achieve his lifelong dream. The insane price tag for Starship 2.0. The cost of the Starship launch may seem appealing to you, but the cost of building it leaves you speechless. The current Starship cost $100 million each to build, although a stingy estimate is sure to be significantly higher with inflation rising at the rate that it is, and with the Starship 2.0 set to dwarf its original. We can only guess how expensive the giant will be. A giant city within the Starship. If Musk is to realize his dream, Starship 2.0 will need to perform miracles, as the environment on Mars will not allow humans to carry out labor as they would on Earth. They will be heavily reliant on machines doing the job for them, and that will only be possible if Starship 2.0 acts as a hub where all these necessities are available, which is why the Starships are designed to land and lay dormant if needed, which is a very innovative and extremely crucial design, as it heightens the possibility of Musk achieving his dream of our race inhabiting Mars. Elon Musk thought about Starship 2.0. Very little has been said about Starship 2.0, and even Musk hasn't said much, which has been surprising, considering how he tweets about every single thing that has ever happened. From what has been gathered, though, Musk has confirmed speculations that the Starship 2.0 will indeed be as large as the original. However, the tweet was nearly 3 years ago, and we've only heard snippets of the truth ever since. Many on the planet would like to pick the brain of the richest man to ever exist about his passion project, but it's becoming abundantly clear that he would like to keep his cards close to his chest, at least until he tweets, raving on about Starship 2.0 like a proud father, hopefully someday soon. As we know so well, he is not easily demotivated and is very proud of the cost-effectiveness and innovation of the current Starship thrusters. So we can only imagine how he'll feel about Starship 2.0. The number of starships built is mind-blowing. With the current model, SpaceX would have to build around 100 starships a year for the next 10 years, totaling up to 10,000 starships, which seems ridiculous even to the unaware. Therefore, Starship 2.0 must be a success, as it would significantly lessen the pressure SpaceX is under. The Starship 2.0, completed with its triple carrying capacity and crazy upgrades in power, would reduce the number of starships, which would have to be built significantly and perhaps even bring it down to less than 100. It would also make the Mars colony seem more plausible, as having around 1,000 ships around would mean that the first human colony would have to be built over a huge area, which could prove detrimental.